to me is kind of part one. Pauline, I just started recording, so we'll post that. So this is part one, okay? Part two is, how do you follow up with these leads? Because at the end of the day, these are online leads, right? They're not referral leads. So it's going to be a higher number of leads needed to convert. And I think what I'm seeing a lot of people do is they're creating an ad, they're getting 10 leads, they call or reach out to those 10 leads and say, hey, you clicked on an ad on Facebook, you know, what can I help you look for? And the people are saying, no, I'm not looking right now. And then they're just letting them go, right? And not putting them into any sort of follow-up system. A lot of these leads are leads that'll be buyers or sellers 6, 9, 12 months from now, right? Not necessarily going out this weekend. So, you know, make sure that your expectations are set correctly. But this is a great way to kind of feed that hopper. And there is absolutely buyers in this. And I can tell you, because a condo I listed a couple months ago, I'm going to show you, I generated 14 leads off of my $30 ad. And I met with 2 of them. One of them wrote an offer on the condo. The other one is under buyer agency agreement. So $30, 2 live human beings that actually met with. So I do think it's important to make sure that we're following the process. Okay. So to set up this class, step 1 is going to be making sure that Facebook is connected to command properly, right? That needs to happen. And then step 2 is we're going to go through the process of actually building an ad. I'm going to show you how easy that is to do. All right, before we start, any questions about where we're headed or what we're going to be talking about? Good so far. All right, I've got 31 people on this, which is probably the busiest call I've had in like 3 months. So I appreciate this. Thank you. Makes me feel wanted. All right, so here's what we're going to do. So first thing is, on my screen here, we're going to log into command, agent.kw.com. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to settings and make sure that Facebook is connected. So if you know that this is already done, you can just watch for a second. But for everyone else, if you need to, let's just go confirm that Facebook's connected. So click 1 is going to be on your name. Click 2 is going to be on settings. All right, so your name, settings. On this screen here, we are going to see these different applications, right? So it says applications, and there's actually 2 for Facebook. So there's one here that says Facebook Post Scheduling. There's another one down here that says Facebook Ads Manager. And this is actually the more important one for the call today. So you need to make sure you're connected to both. Now, when you connect to Facebook, right, and I can't show you this because I've already done it. When you connect to Facebook, you are logging into Facebook with your personal username and password. Does that make sense? And then once you log in, it says, here are your business pages. Which ones do you want to be able to do ads through? And you're going to check off the boxes of the business pages that you control. And that's the cool thing, right? If you run a business page that is Kyle Holleran Realtor, and you've got another business page, which is Annapolis Living that you manage, right? You can actually run ads in command through both business pages, right? So when you create an ad, you'll be able to say, I want it to run on this page or I want it to run on that page, okay? So this is the first step, is we want to get to where it says Facebook and it says connected. All right, any questions on this part of it here? See a couple chats coming in, so let me check that so I don't miss anything. Deborah Brow said, can I connect more than one email to it? So no, I mean, you can only connect to one Facebook account. So that's what you're doing, you're logging in. Now, you can disconnect, right? So I can go here and click disconnect and then log in under somebody else. But for most of us, right, we're gonna log in underneath of either, you know, our account or maybe our team leader's account, if that's what they want you to do. Now, here's the deal. On the business page, okay, on the business page, whoever has the role admin can post ads. So let's say I'm a team lead and then I also have a buyer's agent and an admin. They can log into their Facebook account and run ads through Holleran Real Estate as long as I make them an admin on the business page. If they are simply a moderator or something like that, they don't have the authority of Facebook to actually run ads for that page. Okay, so hopefully that answered that question for you. All right, so set up Facebook. Now that we're good to go on that, let's go and talk about, all right, so Sue and Chuck said, recommend connect to business page or personal. You don't really have an option here. You have to log in through your personal login, and then an ad can only be done through a business page. Does that make sense? I cannot, as Kyle Holleran, an individual, just personal profile, I cannot go and create an ad. Facebook won't let me do it. Ads are only available through your business page. So you need to have both to be able to do what we're going to do today. All right, so let's go to the process now of actually creating the ad inside of Command. So what we're going to do is today we're going to spend 99% of our time in campaigns, which is this icon right here. It looks like a megaphone. All right, so let's all go to campaigns. If you're logged in at home and following along, I'm going to go to campaigns and I'm going to go ahead and log in. Now, when I get to campaigns, when I first get here, you're going to see that it's going to be this little bit of a dashboard, right? This home screen. And up top, it says dashboard, paid ads, emails, direct mail, social posts, right? So this dashboard is kind of a combination of all these different types of campaigns that you can run. And today we're going to focus on the paid ads, right? So what we're going to do is I want to click on paid ads. So go ahead and click on paid ads. And I want to look at this dashboard, and then we'll go through the process of creating an ad. All right. So one of the cool things about this system is that once you create an ad, if they've already ran and they've been completed, you'll see them within your ad set here. And then actually I set up two today that I've submitted to Facebook to run starting tomorrow. And so you can see here, it's telling me how long this ad is set to run for and when it's supposed to start. So these ads, whether you do it through Facebook or Command, have to go through a Facebook ad approval process, right? So everyone that does ads on Facebook has to put it through that process. What they don't allow is too much text, right? What they don't allow is language about alcohol or, right, I know Pauline's on here. I think maybe someone in that office had found that out the hard way. So there are limitations that Facebook has. And if they were to reject your ad, you would see it would say not approved, right? And you'd have to make the changes and then resubmit this ad. So I prepped these two ads earlier today. And so it's telling me that it's pending review right now. And then hopefully tomorrow these get approved and they'll start running, and then they'll say active, right? Knowing that they are currently running and trying to generate leads. Okay. So this is just your dashboard view. Now I want to show you this and then we're going to build the ad. This is one that I completed down here. So it says Lake Heron Drive, and you can see it says completed. This ad ran for 10 days, right? And then there's these couple other boxes here. So let's talk about what these are saying. So what this is showing me is that I basically had nearly 900, well, I got 955 impressions, meaning basically that many people saw my ad, all right? 81 of them clicked on learn more on the ad. And then 14 of them gave me their contact information. So that means I got 14 leads off of that ad. And I spent a total of $30. Okay, so each one of those leads cost me about $2.14. Again, one of them is a buyer agency agreement, and another one wrote an offer on this contract. So it was definitely worth $30. The return could absolutely be 100% worth it. All right. And then the last thing I want to show you here is you also have some buttons down here where if this ad was very successful, let's say, if I click those three buttons, I can actually duplicate this campaign and launch it again. So you don't have to start from scratch every single time, right? I'm going to show you how we're going to create an ad from scratch. But if you had an ad that was about a buyer seminar and you got a bunch of people that signed up for that or whatever it's going to be, and you were going to do it a month later, you can just go in and duplicate the campaign and just change the dates on it and submit it for approval again. Okay, so you don't always have to be starting these from scratch. You have a couple different options over here. All right, so any questions on this dashboard here before we get into actually creating an ad? All right, so Kevin said, why did one of your campaigns fail? Kevin, so the reason is I uploaded a video originally for this one here, and I'll show you can do either video or pictures. And the video I uploaded was like 3.5 minutes long by accident. I didn't realize that was the version I uploaded. So I believe it failed because that video file was just way too big, right? No one's going to sit there and watch a 3-minute ad video, most likely. They recommend it under 30 seconds. So this one here, I re-uploaded it, right? And it went to review. That's why. So good question. Let's see. Pauline was talking about the ad mentioned a wet bar, which is slanted towards alcohol and prohibited. So use beverage center instead. Deborah, does it take longer to get an approved ad from Command than directly on Facebook? No. My opinion is it's the exact same timing. So no there. And then Gary Fisher, what is your CPLC? So here's the cool thing. If you hover over top of it, right, it actually will give you what it actually is, right? So I think if I click on this, or you used to, oh, here it is over here. Click this little I over here. This I will give you all the different definitions. All right, so CPLC is cost per lead captured. So if you want to get a little definition there, that's a good thing to see. All right.
Hey, Kyle,
Yeah.
to Deborah's point, if you create something in Facebook and they give you an option of boosting it, remember I want to make sure Deborah doesn't make that mistake, because that was my rookie mistake, is I paid money to boost the post, and boosting a post is not placing an ad. And so then I had to kind of then pay again so I could place an ad through Command and do it the right way so I could get the leads, track them.
All right, so a couple things here. Let's clarify this, right? You have posts and ads, and they're two separate things, okay? A post is me going to Kyle Holleran Real Estate, my Facebook page, and putting open house on Saturday, hope to see you there, right? Not an advertisement that a bunch of random people are seeing, okay? So Facebook gives you the opportunity to boost that post so that more people who like your business page see it in their newsfeed, right? An ad is haven't mets. Think of it that way, right? That's the best way to think about it. Mets and haven't mets. An ad is going out and Facebook's trying to find people that are going to be interested in the whatever product that you're trying to promote. Okay? So exactly that. Like Pauline said, she was like, I'm not getting a lot of people to register. It's because we're not finding anyone new, right? We're only promoting to people that already like that page. So that's the difference between boosted posts and an ad. So very good point, because I know we don't want to get anyone to get caught in that trap. All right, so let's create an ad. Let's go through this process. You guys can see how quick it is. Now, it's going to take us 20 minutes to go through this, 25 minutes to go through this, right? What I will say is once you do this once or twice, this will take you 4 minutes to create an ad. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. All right, so we're going to go slow, but just realize this is a very fast process. I created both these ads this morning in 15 minutes, right? And set them up to go out for tomorrow. All right, so what we're going to do is the first step is in the top right-hand corner up here, it says create a new campaign. You're going to select that, and we're going to pick the left one over here. So social ad paid, right? These are paid ads. So I'm going to click on social ad paid, and it's going to say, okay, here's your new social ad campaign, and we're going to go ahead and set this up. The first thing that's required is the name. This is important because the name will be put in as a note in the contact. An advantage of doing Facebook generation out of Command is this. I'm going to launch an ad in Command. If Nicole Duffy and Pauline Dent click on that ad, they're automatically created as leads in Command for me. I don't have to go download them, move them anywhere. So that's the advantage of doing the ad through here. Now, what's going to happen is, let's say I have a new lead, and that new lead is Nicole Duffy. There will be a note, and that note will say, Nicole came off of just listed 1140 Lake Heron Drive. Okay, so the name that you're putting in here is very important so you can understand where is this lead coming from if you're running multiple ads, right? So when I call back and I'm listing a house in Annapolis and another one in Alexandria, I want to be able to speak intelligently to that lead. So make sure you name it properly, because that will come back to be a place for you to understand that. Second step here, it says, what is your goal? This is purely for KW purposes of them trying to understand what you're attempting to do. The only exception to that is up top here, it says advertise multiple listings. If you select this, you can actually select multiple MLS numbers and promote like 3 listings. Now, what they have found is the click rate is much lower on something like that than on a single listing for whatever reason, right? And that's some of the testing that you can do as well. So these here again are just what are you trying to accomplish here? So in this case, I'm doing just listed. Let's say I'm trying to attract buyers, or really I'm trying to advertise my listing, right? KW just trying to learn so they can build better products for us. Then down below here, it says, where will your campaign run? And because we have Facebook connected, I can select that box. In settings, there was also a place where you could connect your Twitter. And let's talk about Instagram for just a second. So you're not going to see Instagram in the settings of Command. Who owns Instagram?
Facebook.
Facebook owns Instagram. So it actually works through that connection. So what you need to do is this. If you want Instagram to show up, meaning that I can build one ad and that ad will be built one time, but the system will make it a Facebook ad and an Instagram ad if I want to. So instead of having to go to both platforms, I can just do it here one time and it'll send it to both platforms. If you want Instagram to show up, what you have to do is you have to go to your Instagram page, you go to settings, and you're going to link it to your Facebook page. Right? So a lot of people haven't done that. They have Facebook set up separately and then Instagram set up separately. They have to be connected to each other. Once they're connected, then you'll see Instagram show up here as an option. Okay? Now today we're going to stick on Facebook here, but any questions about that, right? So this is how you start an ad. So create a new campaign, paid ad, name it, pick your goal, pick where it's going to run, and then we're going to hit set up campaign. Any questions there? All right.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, please.
When you did your naming of your listing that's listed, I noticed that you kept all the spacing together. Is there a reason why?
No, I don't think it matters, to be honest with you. I just, like, for me, I have like a system, right? So my system would be just listed 1140, or I could do that. I could come back and do just sold. So no, I think you can save it with spaces. This is just the way that I can look at it and see what it is. It takes up less space for me. Doesn't really matter, I don't think, Terry.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have a business Instagram account also? No, Nancy, you don't have to. That can run on both your just Kyle Holleran or on your business page through Instagram. Okay, so let's keep moving here. So I named it, picked my goal, selected Facebook. Now I'm gonna hit set up campaign. All right. Now, the first thing that pops out is asking you to select a listing. So remember that part of the advantage of Command is that we're connected to the MLS. So if I had a listing that was active, and it must basically be active, right? It can actually be, it can be active or under contract or closed. The only one it doesn't work for here is coming soon, because the Bright MLS, right? At least in Northern Virginia, the Bright MLS does not syndicate coming soon listings. So if I go here and I try to find my listing, I will not find it because the MLS has not syndicated it out. That doesn't need to stop you though. You can upload your pictures and type out whatever you want to say. So you absolutely can go in and do a coming soon Facebook ad. You just won't be able to select the listing here. All right. Now, if you can find your active listing, so let's say I do have a listing, and I'm going to say all statuses here. So let me go find a house. Let me ask this. Does anyone have a current active listing right now that I could use as a mock for the class today? Active listing. They're all under contract, huh? All right, so I'm going to use my house then that I bought and renovated. All right, so this is my house I bought a couple years ago in 2017. So it's in here, and if you had an active listing, it should be in here as well, and it'd have your name as the listing agent. So if you can find your listing here, you're going to click select, right? And what that's going to do is it's going to make that connection to the MLS, and it's actually going to pull in all of the pictures of the property. So you see how it brought in the picture there? In addition, it brought in the public description for that ad, okay? So, and if you need to, you can go back and change your listing here or disconnect it, all right? So then I've got, basically, when we look at this screen, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections, right? These 5 sections: duration and budget, Facebook ad, ad media. What we're trying to achieve is a check mark in each section. And as soon as we achieve that, then we can go and publish our ad, right? So name and goal we did. I just selected a listing. So the step 3 would be your ad text. Now, we're going to type over on the left, and on the right, you're going to see a preview of what your ad will look like when it's out on Facebook. Okay, so it brought in split level with garage, 1+ acre lot off West Benfield. You can edit all of this. So realize that your ad for Facebook may have a different kind of like market than your public description. So I might want to say here, you know, just listed, or I might say attention buyers, right? Just listed in Severna Park, Maryland, right? And as I type that out, you see that I'm starting to see all that text over here on the right-hand side. Okay. Now, you guys see this Learn More button down here? Everything that we're doing, we're trying to get someone to click this Learn More button because that's how we get a lead. All right. So don't just go up here and put, go to my website, www.kyleholleran.com to see photos or whatever it's going to be. Because if they do that, you're not going to capture their lead, right? They're going to copy and paste that link and just go right to the go right to that website. So I'm going to say attention buyers just listed in Severna Park. I can type in, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Now, what I'm not trying to do, though, is I'm not trying to exclude people from clicking on Learn More. So the more I tell them 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, the price, right? We're going to start to eliminate people that decide, hey, this isn't the property that I'm looking for. It's either too big, too small, too expensive, right? And they won't click Learn More. So what I would say is you might even want to put in something like 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. This is where you could do, 1 acre lot, right? Spa-like bathrooms, right? Keep it generic, and that way people want to click Learn More to see more pictures or whatever it's going to be. That's the whole goal of spending the money. The other thing in here is there's an emoji bar right here. So you see this little smiley face. One of the things that people have found is if they use emojis, they're getting a higher click rate because it jumps out to people when they're scrolling through Facebook. So I could come in here and I could say, I could click this, right? And I could do fire. And I could put the little fire emoji in there and then say, wood burning fireplace, right? Whatever it's going to be. I could do bedrooms. There's a little bedroom icon. So I could say bed, right? And I could click bed and say 2 bedrooms, right? There's a bathroom. All right. So you got to get creative with this a little bit in terms of think about when you're scrolling through Facebook, what's grabbing your attention? What's going to make you stop and look at an ad? And if just plain text and just a single picture, that may not be compelling enough. All right. So now you can see it says attention buyers, just listed in Severna Park, 1 acre lot, spa-like bathrooms, wood fireplace, right? Bedrooms, bathrooms, and I'm going to leave that there. I then have a headline section. So this is where I could say maybe like I'm going to do a call to action, click Learn More for photos and 3D tour. Right? Again, trying to get them to click this button here. And then finally description. So this is where you could say listed by Holleran Real Estate, Keller Williams, whatever it's going to be. Right? And you can even put more about the house down there as well. So add text, we're doing a main copy, a headline, a description, and that's there, there, and there. Any questions on the add text? Good. All right, let's keep moving here. So we did add text, and I'll come down here now. Once I do the add text, I'm going to come down here and hit save add text. It'll all save. Now we're going to go to add media. All right, so this is where we're going to talk about what's the graphic that's showing up here. So add media. I'm going to click configure. Now, it's showing one of the pictures here, right? That's the one I selected. Remember, because I'm connected to the MLS up here, I can click on Add More, and it's going to pull in all of the pictures from the MLS. So if I wanted to add a picture of the backyard, I could add in a second picture. All right, so I could add in a second picture if I wanted to, hit Save Image, and now you can see the ad over here is actually more of like a slideshow now, right? Where I can go over here and I can actually see that second picture, or it's going to start scrolling. Right? So you can add multiple pictures. What people have found is the more pictures you give somebody, the less they click on Learn More. Right? Because again, if you're scrolling through and you're seeing a bunch of the pictures, why do you need to go click on this button? So that's kind of the stuff that you can look at the analytics of the results of your ad and kind of find for yourself. Right? I'm going to delete that second picture. I can do that here. Now remember, again, if I said, let's say you have a coming soon listing and you cannot connect to a listing up top here like I found in that database, right? Just come down here to add media, click add more, and then there's a button here that says add images, and I can upload those images from my computer. So this is where I'd upload the photos from my photographer for my coming soon listing, and I still would be able to create and publish an ad, right? I don't need it to be coming through that syndication portal in order to do this. So I get that call a lot where people are calling me and they're going, I'm trying to create an ad, but I can't find my listing. You're not going to find it because Bright MLS does not syndicate it. So just upload your own pictures and then you can get to the same spot that we are here. Now you can also do video. right? So you have two options. You can do image or you can do video. And this is where you can say, okay, I want to upload a video or embed a linked video. So you can put in like a YouTube link, or you can upload your own video, right? And so that's what I did for one of mine, is a quick little video on the property, and then come down here and hit continue with video. So you can do either or. You can't do both, right? You can't have like a photo and then a video. It's got to be either or. Now, the last thing I want to show you here, which is kind of cool, is I can put up a picture like this, right? Maybe that's fine. But I also want to show you that when you go to this add images section again, underneath this media, if I go to add images, you'll notice I've also got one here that says choose from designs. So many of you have been in my designs class, right? And know how to go create like a Facebook post for a listing. So what I could actually do is I can go in here and say browse design library. Once I create my ad or my graphic in designs, I can actually just suck it right into the system. I don't need to download it and bring it over. So what I'm going to do is I just made this ad this morning. I'm going to click preview and crop image. I'll say, yep, that's the image I want. So bring that over, and I'm going to delete the first picture here. Right? So maybe I go in and I hit delete image. So now that's my ad. Okay, so it's a little bit cleaner. It's not just a photo. So you've got that connection point to designs to bring in that. All right, so that's the media section. All right, so text media. Any questions on that section there?
Hey, Kyle, it's Lisa. I had a
Lisa?
question. So when they click on learn more, because I see it like in your ad.
So hold on that thought. That's the next section. That's what we're going to go over next.
Okay. Okay, cool.
All right, so let's keep moving here. This hopefully is fairly simple for you. Now, down here, it's saying DBA logo, right? And you can upload your logo, which is this logo down here on the right-hand side. I'm actually going to take this off because I already have it in the image, so I don't want it twice, okay? Now, someone had asked me, do we have to include any office disclosure? So I'm a broker, so here's what I'm going to tell you, all right? Digital, so any sort of digital marketing, your disclosure must be one click away. So on this ad itself, because I'll show you in just a moment here, it's going to actually say my business page name here. As long as all my information about where I'm licensed is on my business page, like on the about section, right when you look at it, I don't have to put any disclosure here because that would constitute one click away. All right, so my ad itself does not need to say Kyle Holleran, Keller Williams Fairfax Gateway, because all that information is on my business page. So please make sure, right, that is on your business page. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do next is, that's our media. So the next one here says Facebook ad, right? And this is a big one. This is kind of the last big one. The other one's just how long it's going to run and how much money is it for. So Facebook ad, I'm going to click configure here. And let's work down this page here. So we see it says number 1 there, so we'll start here. So remember, I told you in settings, we're going to connect to our personal page. So you should see it says Lisa Greco or Kyle Holleran or Gordon Dean, right? And then here it says page. And these were the boxes that I checked off on saying I want to be able to do ads through these pages. So you can see that I've got multiples. So, you know, I'm like an admin of Keller Williams Fairfax Gateway. So I could run an ad through Fairfax Gateway if I wanted to. And you can see here when I select Fairfax Gateway, it brings over the business page and the profile picture for the business page. Or I can run it on my page, right? So Holleran Real Estate. So I select the page there. Again, it brings in my profile picture from that page and then also the title. So this gives me a really good idea about what's this ad going to look like when someone sees it when they're laying on their couch drinking a glass of wine or doing whatever they're doing. All right. So that's number 1. Number 2, and this gets into Lisa's question. And to me, this is the most important part of the class. So when somebody clicks on learn more, what happens, right? So the first thing is this. You can see here it says button call to action, learn more. You actually have 3 options. It can say learn more. It could also say sign up, or it could say apply now. So if I'm promoting a listing, I might want it to say learn more, right? I think that's a good call to action button. But I've absolutely seen people do buyer or seller seminars, right? Saying, hey, if you'd like to jump on a Zoom call and learn more about the buying process. So sign up might be a more appropriate call to action button based on that ad. So you have the option of selecting what that button is. So let's put it back to learn more. Now up here, guys, this is one of the most important questions that you need to ask yourself, which is you can see what I just highlighted there. You have 2 options. One is, are we going to use a Facebook lead generation form? For 99% of you, this should be the selection you make. So here's what happens, right, when I make this selection. Someone sees this ad on Facebook, they click learn more, and what happens is a little box pops up on their Facebook over the ad. That Facebook pops up that already has their name, their email, their phone number pre-populated in that box. And that's their login email, their phone number they put in for dual authentication, right? And all that consumer needs to do is hit like submit, and now you've got a lead. So that's the Facebook lead gen form. And I've actually got a picture. I'll show you what it looks like in a second. The second option is forego that lead generation form. And when someone clicks learn more, take them directly to a website, which means you've got to capture their information on your website. All right. So if you do that, make sure that you've got some really good, compelling reason of why they would need to sign up. Because if not, you're not going to get many leads. All right. So again, I suggest everyone use this Facebook lead gen form. And then down here, it says, where are we sending them to? So what is the follow-up destination URL? So even if you use this, either one, right? Once they click learn more, what website are we taking them to? And so here's what I do. I will go to my website. All right. So if this was a listing ad, I'm going to go to my website. And this is my KW website. You guys might use a different one, but I'm actually going to come in here and I'm going to search for my listing. Right. So I'm actually going to look for it on my website. Okay. And let's say it's this one right here. Right. So I'm going to click on my listing and realize that this is a great landing page to send somebody to. Because if we're telling them, hey, go check out all the pictures of the property, if I send them to this page here, they've got the price, they've got all the information about the listing, they can schedule a tour, they can ask me a question about this listing, and they can also come in here and scroll through all the different photos, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for the property, and then I'm going to grab the URL up top here, which is specific to this listing. I'm going to copy this, and this is where I'm going to send somebody, right, when they click on my ad. So I'll take them to that landing page. So the cadence of what this would be like for the consumer or for the lead would be this. They see your ad, they click on learn more, they submit their information, and then they go here, right? And now they're able to look around at all the different pictures and all the rest of it. Now, here's why I'm telling you to take them to your website. I'm seeing agents that are building standalone landing pages and taking them there to look at pictures and all the rest of that, which is great. What's the downside of doing that? What's the downside of taking them to a single property website versus a link inside your website?
They could go to, your competitor.
Well, so if I go to a single page, if I don't like this house, there's nowhere else for
see other houses, they just bounce.
Right. So exactly that, right? If I come here and I go, whoa, 870, that's way out of my price range, I just leave that website. If you bring me here, I can then go up top here and start my own search, right? And go look around on your website for other types of properties. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yep.
So that's why I'm using that link as I put it in here. All right, so this is the look of what we want it to be.
So Kyle,
Yeah.
our single page, our single property landing pages don't have a search bar?
No, they're single property website. Right? The design is, so this is what I'm talking about, right? I have the ability in command, in consumer, to build a standalone page, right? A landing page.
Yeah,
And
I just never done one and figured they would have had a search bar.
No, I mean, that's the
that
point of
reason.
it, right? No, I mean, the point of it is that I can tell a seller, like, hey, I'm going to build you your own custom website with just your property on there and your pictures. We have to be careful of that. That might work in certain situations. In this one, I think for you, you're trying to generate leads for your business, right? So you want to take them to more of a search website, which is what this is. Okay. All right, so that's that top section. So use Facebook lead gen form, the follow-up destination URL. And then this is the last big part, guys. So it says ad targeting. And basically it's saying, okay, we're going to send this ad out to people that live within 20 miles of Millersville, Maryland. My suggestion is go over here. It says use custom settings. You can toggle this on. And we want to give Facebook like a little bit of a head start here. Okay. So what we're going to say is, you can pick your location. So I'm going to do Annapolis, Maryland, right? Because that's where this property is. So I can type in Annapolis, Maryland and make that selection. And then this ad's going to run. So users in Annapolis, Maryland within 15 miles is the lowest I can go, will see this ad. Now, I also have the ability down here to put in interest. So it says add or change interests. So what Facebook is trying to do is they're trying to find people based on other search criteria that they've done who might be interested in seeing this ad, right? They want to get this in front of actual buyers and sellers. We can give them a head start by telling them, hey, look for people with certain interests. So what do you think people that might be buyers, what are they looking at online that we could tell Facebook like, hey, look for this type of thing? What are some interests of those people?
Zillow.
Zillow. So there are preset interests, but one of them is Zillow, right? So I can type in Zillow and we can select that and say, hey, Facebook, right? It's not only going to target people that have been looking at Zillow or like Zillow, but it's going to kind of start there, right? And it's going to watch and see who's clicking on this ad and then redistribute to people that are most likely to click on it. So you can add more interests here. So I put Zillow in. This is an and or statement. Make sure if you add multiple interests that you're using or. If I were to use and I were to type in real estate investing, I think that's another one actually. So then this ad would only show to people who like Zillow and like real estate investing. So be very careful using that and statement because that'll be a very small pool of people. Make sure it says or, right? And that way, when you add that selection, it's or and not and, okay? Now, a lot of people, to be honest, are just putting in Zillow, just starting there. So don't worry about adding multiples. They're just putting in Zillow. And that at least gives Facebook a starting point for this ad. I then come down here, I click Save Facebook Ad. And the last step is duration and budget. So let's look at this real quick. So it says, okay, how long do you want this ad to run? It takes at least kind of like 12 hours to get it approved. So you aren't able to select today. So today's the 30th, right? So I want to start this on the 31st. You can also post date it, or sorry, like, yeah, predate it. So let's say I'm going on vacation next week and I want to get my ad ready for my new listing that's starting next week. I can do this whole thing and say, start it on August 6th, submit it for approval before I go on vacation and get the approval. And then it's just sitting there waiting to launch before that, okay? So I'm going to click on, let's go back here. I'll say that we are going to do July 31st, and it's going to run till August 10th. So I'm going to run this ad for 10 days. And then this is my total budget. So how much am I going to pay for the ad? So I did 30 bucks. So that's saying, okay, we're going to spend $3 a day on the ad. And as soon as people click on the ad or $3 is spent, it turns off and then it turns back on the next day. Right? And I can save that budget there. So I went to Facebook headquarters in Austin. Here's the reason I use these here. That's what they said is what they have tested to be the maximum opportunity to generate leads, which is the same amount every day. So in that example, right, $3 a day, basically. And the way this works is they're going to deploy the ad on day one. They're going to see who clicks on it. They're going to figure out what are the common interests of the people that clicked on it and redeploy it on day two and redeploy it on day three. So what you're going to see is a little bit of like a curve, right? Where you might have low results days 1 and 2 as Facebook figures out who's the target person. And then you'll see those results skyrocket towards the end of the ad. So just be very careful doing a 2-day ad. It doesn't give enough time for the algorithm to locate the proper people and distribute the ad to those people, okay? Now the 2 that I did, and then we'll jump into questions. The 2 that I did this week were both for 5 days. So I did 5 days, I did $4 a day because I really want to hit it hard this weekend. I want more people to see that every single day. Aisha, go ahead.
So it says it recommends 10 days, $1 each day versus $3 per day. Which one is best?
So I think $3 a day is your minimum spend because here's what happens, right? Facebook launches this ad. As people are clicking on this ad, you're getting charged, right? Little bits of money. And so once $1 has been spent, it would shut off and no one would see it the rest of the day, right?
Oh,
So I put the $3 on there for 10 days, bringing my total to 30 bucks.
So yeah, that means why I don't get as many clicks for the next one I did for $10 versus the one I did for $30.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that's exactly the reason. The algorithm shuts off, right? Because they're only getting so much data on a daily basis before you turn that ad off. So yeah, I'd rather see you guys do $3 a day or $4 a day for 5 days than do $1 a day for 10 days, because only, certain people are going to see that, then that ad's going to shut off for the day and it's not running for the next 23 hours.
Oh, I see. So,
Okay.
yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
All right,
Hey,
that's it.
Kyle,
Yes.
okay, so let's say you do the 10 days and you're doing a just listed, it goes under contract in 2 days.
Mhm.
Are you able to go back in and cancel the rest of that ad?
So 2 thoughts here. The first thought would be, I'm not really trying to sell this house with this ad. It's just like doing an open house, right?
Right, you're
I'm
trying to
looking
get
for
buyers.
leads. So I'm going to let it run and I'm going to call those people and go, oh, sorry, I went under contract, but what are you looking for? Okay. So I would let it run personally. However, you can pause or stop a campaign. So if it did go under so more of what I've seen when that situation comes up, Kate, is if someone does an ad Monday through Friday promoting an open house on Saturday, and then someone comes and blows their socks off with some ridiculous ad, they need to cancel the open house, right? Then I can go in and I can pause and take that ad and take it off. Okay. Now here's the way this works. Let me mention this here. This is a good example. Kate, in your example, let's say I spent $30 on this ad, or I'm spending $30 on this ad, right?
Right.
If you pause or stop the ad, let's say you're 5 days in, so I've spent $15, right? You
Mhm.
don't get a refund of $15. You get a credit to your next ad for $15. Okay. So when I submit this and I go and publish it to Facebook, they take my $30 out of my bank account, right? So that $30 is gone. So if I stop early, you'll get a credit for the next ad you're going to do, right? You don't get a monetary payback for that. Hopefully that makes sense.
And how do I go about pausing it?
All right. So let's finish this up and then we'll go back to that dashboard and I'll show you that.
Okay, one other quick question about
Mhm.
that. Since you are pulling from the MLS, you're sending them to your webpage with the listing.
Yep.
Can I do coming soons?
Yeah, so this is what I was saying. So remember, this right here, this section is optional, right? To select 404 Dale Road. I don't have to do that. I won't be able to select a listing if it is in the coming soon status. So instead, I'm going to go here. I'm just going to write out my text and I'm going to upload my pictures from my photographer rather than using the ones through the MLS connection.
Okay.
Now, the tricky part, Kate, like you said, is where am I sending them to? Okay. So I've seen people that just send them to the website, right? Because remember, by the time they get to your website, you've captured their information. You already have their name and email by the time they get to your website, and then you can follow up and send them photos or whatever it's going to be. What I did was, for one of my listings, that's where I did create a landing page, like we were just talking about, a standalone landing page, where I put a link to my photographer's website where all the photos are. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can find an option there, I think, to get them to a landing page. So you absolutely can do coming soon. This section here will just not be connected to a listing. You'll just do it all manually.
Okay, thanks.
Very good. All right, so Cindy, it says, where do you set up payment? That's the next thing. Okay, so if I go and I hit publish campaign here, first is I've got 2 credit cards on file. So once I put a credit card on file, it will remain here and I can just say, yep, go ahead and charge my credit card for that amount. All right. If you don't have a credit card here, you'll put one on file. So it says add new, put your credit card on file, and then it'll charge you that $30. Okay. Gary, yep. So the listing from on my website, all of this is being pulled from the MLS. So this is being pulled from the MLS. Now, one other thing on this is, remember here it says Facebook ad, and it says where are we going to be doing this ad at? So we had an agent out in the Loudoun office with a gorgeous, like, really nice property out in the Shenandoah Valley, right? Pool, the 9 yards. Well, the target client to buy that property is probably not in the Shenandoah Valley. So what they did was they ran their ad for the Shenandoah Valley. They ran it in Washington, D.C., right? Because they thought they might have a better chance of finding the buyer for that in Washington, D.C. So you can say, where does this ad run based on the type of ad that you're running? Okay.
Oh, I have a question. It's Lisa
Yeah.
Greco again. So is it correct? So if people want to run it in Washington, D.C. and Pennsylvania, how we have to duplicate the ad, like you
Yeah,
said?
so you can't select multiples because one ad has to have a set parameter per Facebook rules. So
Yeah.
this one here would run in Annapolis. So let me show you guys what happens next, all right? So you can always save it as a draft. So that's what I did the other night. I set mine up and then I came in here and I saved it as a draft. I'll click yes. And that way you can just jump right back into it. So whenever you're ready to publish it or your listing goes active, all you have to do now is go put that link in and then hit publish, right? You don't have to do the whole thing. So you can save it as a draft. Now here, you can see it says draft. And these 3 dots right here, if I click edit, that's what allows me to go back in and finish that and publish it. Now, to Lisa, to your point, let's say I was running this in Washington, D.C. If I wanted to also run this in Philadelphia, right, I could click this and do duplicate campaign. And then all I do is I go and I create it a number 2, and I change the city and state, right? And so now I've got 2 ads that I can launch, one in Philly, one in Washington, D.C.
And you can still do that in draft status. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yep. Now, you cannot do that in pending review status. Oh, you can. All right. So I couldn't do it in failed status. So this is the first time I've actually had a failure. But yeah, once it's pending review, I can go in here and I can duplicate this campaign. So what some people are doing, guys, is they're putting up the same picture. They're putting $20 on each ad. This one, the targeted interest is Zillow. This one, the targeted interest is Realtor.com, right? And they're trying to see which one performed better. Was there any reason why one performed better than the other? So the next time I take a listing, I'm gonna do the ad that does Realtor.com, right? Because I got better results. So there's a little bit of some trial and error here that agents are doing to really get the most amount of leads possible. Now, when it is active, let's talk about when you're active, when your lead, or when your ad is active, it'll say this is how many ads you have active, and it'll start telling you how much money you've spent, right, of your budget. And while it's happening, this is what it looks like. So it'll say active, it'll be a green active symbol. It'll be showing you all those different clicks and things like that. Now, right here where it says cost per, I think it's cost per lead click. So you see this number 14 right here? Those are the leads that I generated off of this ad. And if I click on this 14, it's gonna take me to a little hot sheet showing me those 14 people, right? So these are the actual 14 leads that I generated on that last ad, right? And I have their emails and their phone numbers because they submitted all that to me on that Facebook lead gen form. Now, if I click into one of these people, right, you can see they all were generated within the same time frame, because that's my 10 days of my ad. If I click into one of these people here, right, you're going to see here, I'll scroll down so you can't see their contact info. When I scroll down, the very first note that was created was lead received from Lake Heron Drive. So that's the name of the ad. Remember I told you so you can identify what ad they came off of. So I'll see that note there. And in addition, it'll say the source here is Facebook lead ads. You can see that right there. Okay, so it'll mark the source as Facebook lead ad as well. Now, if you're on a team, I can't show this to you because I don't have access to a team file. When you click this 14, what a lot of people are experiencing is they don't see any leads here. It's not showing anything. So if you're on a team, there's a button up here that says lead pool. And you got to click that on, and then you'll see all the leads. So the way that works for a team function is all the leads come into a lead pool, and then they can be assigned to agents from that lead pool. So just remember that. I've had that call a couple times. If you're not seeing any leads here and you're on a team, look for the little button that says lead pool, and they should all be there. All right. And then you got to follow up, right? So then what's that follow-up process that once that lead comes in that you're getting in touch with them? Now, 2 ways that you know a lead has come in. The first is you'll get a notification up top here that'll say new lead, Nicole Duffy, 4 minutes ago, right? Blah, blah, blah. So I'll see it there. Now, you guys know my feeling about Kelly, the app. I don't really like it. I don't think it's the best thing out there, right? But what is nice about Kelly is turn on your notifications on Kelly. Because if I get a lead, I will immediately get a pop-up notification from Kelly about that lead. This is speed to lead, right? If I launch an ad on a Saturday morning, you guys got to be looking for the leads to be coming in, and you got to be jumping on those leads. If I wait until Monday morning to call those people, the conversation is going to be, what? Who are you? What are you talking about? I didn't click on anything. So what I'm doing is when I'm running an ad, I make sure I have my Kelly app here. And then I'm sitting there on the couch on a Saturday. I see a lead come through. I get up, I walk over to my computer, right? I shoot off an email to that person. I call them. I do whatever I need to do. All right. So that's the instant notification. You're not getting an email right now saying new lead, right? The notification is popping up on your phone immediately. It does happen immediately. So, you know, someone can, this happened last time I ran an ad. Someone popped up. I happened to be holding my phone in my hand. I hit the call button. I called them like 10 seconds after they clicked on the ad. And they're like, wow, this is super creepy. So you can be, right there with them if you've got it done correctly, right? And so that's the way you set it up. The last thing is, this is also what I did. If you're running ads, I might suggest you do this. In your contacts of command, right? They'll show up here as leads. What I did was I sort my database by date created. So I added this column, and the way I added that column was going to this customized columns section, and I added in created, and then I moved it so it's the first section of my contacts that I see. And then I sorted by date created, and there's a blue button that shows up that says Save Smart View, and you can save that as your Smart View. So that's what you see every time you come in. So now every time I log into Command and I come to my contacts, I see the newest people that have been entered into my database. This will be the Facebook leads. So this is where I was coming in, and I'm like, oh, who the heck is that person, right? So I would see them rather than have my database sorted A to Z, because if Nicole Duffy came in as a Facebook lead, I would never see her on the screen ever, right? So just as a backup to not miss anybody, I like to sort by date created, and then I'll see the newest leads there, so I know I didn't miss anybody.
That's pretty amazing that they take the lead from Facebook.
Yep.
And put it into Command.
Yep, that's the whole point. Okay?
That's
Now, in order for that to happen, right, that's where you have to click on in this here, right? Here's our draft. I want to go back to this. So in order for them to show up in Command as a lead, this is where you have to make sure you put that Facebook lead gen form. So underneath this Facebook ad here, right, under configure, this is where we talk about those two options. Select this one, because then they will show up in Command. If I don't select this one, then they're going to go directly to my website or whatever, and that lead's going to go to wherever a lead goes to from your website. Okay? So Facebook lead gen form, and then they show up as a contact, and then I can start that follow-up process. Now let's put some, go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, okay. I clicked on use Facebook lead generation form, 30 minutes ago when we were going through it.
Yep.
And I got a message that says you must need to accept Facebook's terms of service.
Yep.
We're Terry Evans with Keller Williams to create a Facebook ad, and then you click continue.
Yes.
If I click continue, I'm not being charged anything yet, right? Because
No. It's just basically you agreeing that you are going to contact these people appropriately, right? Now they are submitting their information to you. Okay. So when they say I didn't sign up for anything, or why are you calling me, in case you get those people, they are. What they didn't do was they didn't read the fine print, right? They didn't read the fine print of the when they hit submit, they're saying I'm agreeing to get contacted by this agent. So
all right, and then I
you're
just
good to go.
and it takes me to my Facebook page, and then I just hit accept.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, and then I can just log out.
Yeah.
Of the Facebook screen. Okay.
Mhm. Yep. Exactly.
Thank
all
you.
right, so I see a couple things over here. So let's see. So Frank, how long for approval? Less than a day. I mean, I've seen it's been like 12 hours maybe. Like I'll put it up today, and then I'll have it be approved by tonight, waiting for tomorrow. But don't expect that you're going to come in here on a Friday and get an ad up on Friday that's going to be running by Friday evening, right? My expectation, everybody, is it's going to run the next business day. So just keep that in mind as you're building an ad. Nancy asked for the suggestion for those of us who don't have listings right now. That's a great question. What do you guys think? Let me open this up for just a second. What are some other things that you could be running ads for if you didn't have a property available?
A buyer campaign.
All right. What would that buyer campaign? What would the ad be?
You can run other agents' listings with their permission.
Okay, that might be an option, right? You talk to an agent and say, "Hey, this is a hot market. Can I market your listing, and I'll keep those leads?" That's an option for sure. What else?
You could do first-time buyers. You could do events that you're having.
Yeah.
You open houses. If you're sitting in an open house for somebody, you can do that.
Mm-hmm. Frank, do you have one there too?
Seminars.
All right, so here's another idea. This is what I used to do, actually. I used to do this back in Craigslist back in the day. This was like circa 2009. So what you can do is go to your website. All right, let me show you. Go to your website, and I want you to search an area. And I'm gonna say Ashburn, Virginia. All right, so I'm gonna search, and let's see if we can find Ashburn, Virginia. All right, so let's say Ashburn, VA. There it is. Okay. So now it pulls up Ashburn, Virginia, right? When I did the search on my website, and it draws that big square there, and you can see all the listings in there. Now, what I used to do is this. So I used to come in, and I would say, I'm going to go to more, and I'm going to filter down this search. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to say, hey, you know what? show me all the homes in Ashburn, Virginia that are under 525. All right, and it's going to do the search here, and now we're left with, it looks like half the listings, right? 28 properties. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an ad, and instead of the ad being this right here, my ad text is going to say, are you looking for a home in Ashburn, Virginia? Get a list of all the homes under 525K by clicking learn more. Right? And I would make that a little bit prettier. I would make it a little bit nicer. I'd change that picture to maybe a property I've sold or I have the right to have. And then when they click on learn more, instead of it being down here, right? Instead of it being a URL to a particular property, just like we did that. When I do a search in my website, this search is Kyle Holleran searching Ashburn for a price under $525,000. That's what that URL is. So if someone clicks on it today, they're going to see these properties. If 9 more properties are listed, they'll automatically appear on this page because it's going to put in that search criteria. So I'm going to copy this link, go back to Facebook, right? And I'm going to put this link in. And so now when someone clicks learn more, they're going to land right here on this page, already showing them properties in Ashburn, Virginia under $525,000. I just get a ton of leads that way. So I think that's a good option if you don't have any, listings. Sandra said, any advice on how to get them to enter correct info? I've had hundreds of leads with fake information. Yeah, so how many of you have put in a fake phone number when Facebook's asked you for a number? A decent amount of people. So that's the number that pops up, right, unless they edit that. No, I mean, to me, that's just an online lead. That's why the conversion ratio is 2 to 3%. I have found that some of them are definitely good numbers. So I use a software called Hiya, H-I-Y-A. It's an app on my phone. I think it costs me like $10 a year. And I can put in the phone number and it'll tell me who the person is. So what I did actually was, Sandra, is I got my 14 leads. I ran all 14 numbers through Hiya. I realized 9 of them matched the name exactly. So I figured those were the right numbers, right? And I called those people first. And then the other ones, I realized that, there are a couple people out there you'll see that are on like every ad or using the phone number. You'll get 867-54309. You'll see that, right? So you're going to see things like that. And I think that's just part of an online lead. All right. What new agents can do through Facebook ads to promote their business? So hopefully that one made sense, Sabera, right? Is lots of things. I think you could do seller seminars, buyer seminars, houses under 525K. Heck, you could even come in here and say, show me just townhouses, right? And now I've got a search set up with just townhouses, right? Or whatever it's going to be, whatever that criteria can be, and then put that ad up there. So I think that's an option as well. Kyle is very valuable. Can we have a recording or something similar? Yep. And then Nancy said, thanks. All right, so let's end up here. 2 things, guys. I'm recording this, so I will post this to my YouTube channel. But in addition to that, if you wanted something immediately to go to, my YouTube channel, which I will show you what it is here. All right. If you go to my YouTube channel and you go to videos here, there is a couple videos in here already, I think right down here, that is all about creating Facebook ads. So how to create a paid Facebook and Instagram ad. This is the exact same class I taught today. So I'll post this one, so you'll see this one today. But know that there's another one in here if you wanted to zip onto something real quick and catch up on something. It's the exact same class. Everybody good?
Yes, Kyle, one question. I have
Yes.
three database logos. Is that the maximum I can put there, or can I put another extra one? Because I'm not sure which one is PNG, so I have to put new ones in
I'm not
there.
following you, Asia. Where are you talking about that going in?
This is about this is not on this one, but it's about the logos, database logos that we can put on the designs and elsewhere.
Okay, so
Can
you're talking about the library of designs. So in
Yes.
the library of designs, you can add, I think it's 4 logos total, and you
Okay.
go into designs and click on library, and that's where you put those in.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys, I hope everyone has a great day. Happy Thursday.
Thank you.
And let me know if you get some results on this. We had one agent who just had come to the Reston office, ran an ad, and I think he got a buyer and a seller on his first ad. So I told him that didn't happen every time, but let me know your results. Hopefully this can work out for you and you guys can generate some good GCI. All right.
Thank you.
Hey, Kyle, what was that app, Hiya?
Hiya, H-I-Y-A, H-I-Y-A. Put it in the chat right there.
Thank you.
All right, guys, have a great day.
See ya.
See ya.